McGregor. Because it's in the news, it's a big deal, and a lot of people have asked me to comment, so I will. That bird is freaking out. What kind of mating call is that? Whatever it is, it's working on me. So, Conor McGregor is fighting Floyd Mayweather. What are my thoughts? Well, we can talk about the fight. We can talk about the logistics of how each man can win. But really, it is a freak show. It's a circus act. We're talking about a non-professional boxer taking on a guy who is arguably the best boxer of all time, definitely of his generation. I mean, it's pound for pound type of thing, but you cannot deny the man's record. Now, his style is infuriatingly boring. I mean, unless you're a total geek of the sweet science and you appreciate his footwork and speed and technique and, mental fortitude. He has a lot of traits, but really he is as famous as he is because of his trash talk, because of his flamboyance, and all the stuff he does outside of the boxing ring, much like Conor McGregor. I mean, Conor McGregor talked his way into a payday like this, which we will get to. It is kind of crazy. I guess my overall point is that it does not matter what happens in this fight. It really doesn't matter at all. This is a win-win situation. It's actually more than that. It's say the word win 100 million times, because that's roughly how much money Conor McGregor is going to make. And Floyd will probably make a little bit more. I mean, it's going to depend upon their pay-per-view points and how well it does, I'm sure. But when all is said and done, we're talking about 100 million each.
All right, so far so good. Nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, even boxing fans that say Mayweather has a boring style, and that's I don't care about that. But like, here's the thing: it's when I look at a video and they're saying things that make a lot of sense early on, like the but is gonna come, like like a but, it's this is interesting, right? Now this guy says a lot of wrong things. We could forgive him about some of the things he said wrong, and I'll talk about that. But so far, he's saying the right things. Professional boxer. I don't know about the best of all time, but one of the best of all time for sure. And an all-time great. Facing a guy with no boxing experience. He actually says some things that make sense, but he trails off here. So that's why I'm doing this video. By the way, this is a YouTuber called Atheism is Unstoppable. All right. This guy doesn't know anything about boxing, okay? But let's move on.
So, whatever happens in this contest is of absolutely no significance. Conor McGregor is right now, an 11-1 underdog? He has no shame whatsoever in losing to this guy. If he gets one punch off, he'll be a hero. He already is a hero. The man is cashing out. He sent a tweet out the other day that said, get in, get rich, get out. And he's done that, aside from the getting out part. But he just had a kid. He's won 2 belts in the UFC. He's immortalized himself, and he's friggin' 28. He's taking on a 40-year-old man. Whenever you have a 40-year-old man competing with a 28-year-old man, it should not surprise you when the 28-year-old wins. This is just... I mean, I don't know how old you are listening to this, but I guess older people will appreciate this more because they've been through this process, but your body is not the same, and especially in a cardio thing. Now, having said that, the ironic thing is that Floyd Mayweather is the one with the cardio advantage. So boxers have cardio advantage over almost everybody, aside from triathletes. These guys are constantly running. They're constantly hitting the jump rope. They're training for 12 rounds of action, times 3 minutes each. That's a long time. Typical UFC fight is 15 minutes, 3 rounds of 5 minutes. And Conor is not known for his gas. He is not known to be able to sustain a pace. He's a great athlete, great condition, but among other great athletes, one of his weaknesses is his cardio. Now, part of that is because of the offense he puts out. It's not like...
You see what? There's the but we'll get to that. So far, so good. I mean, no complaints so far, right? No complaints. I mean, he does acknowledge the cardio it takes, although it's funny because he says that, but it's once he starts going into McGregor nut-hugging mode, the way he talks about boxing all of a sudden changes. It does change. It's kind of weird. In the same video that he's saying, oh, boxing, boxers have tremendous cardio, and it takes tremendous cardio, and, like he praises it for that, but once you start really listening to what he means in a moment, you're going to see that even the butt right now, right? Like the reasons why Connor has a bad cardio, all of a sudden he kind of flips it, right? He flips it around. But let's move on.
He just gasses like he's some heavyweight, and just, just being in the octagon makes him gas. No, he's throwing bombs and he's putting on offense. And so when you do that, there is an expenditure of energy. I mean, a lot of times you'll see a guy blow his load and go for the kill and not get it. And then it's like, uh-oh, because his gas tank is empty. So in this match against Floyd Mayweather, I mean, let's first of all acknowledge that if it were a MMA match, Floyd Mayweather would get annihilated. He would be destroyed instantly. So there's a very specific reason they're not doing that, because it would not even be competitive. But they're going to put on big puffy gloves and not allow any grappling or jiu-jitsu or kicking or elbows or anything like that, so that Floyd can have a chance. Common sense would dictate that, yeah, the guy who's 49-0 and has beaten every contender over the past 2 decades is going to beat a 0-0 boxer. But Conor does have huge power, and he does have nothing to lose.
Right. You know, I keep hearing this narrative, man. I keep hearing it, and I expected it. I mean, it's not shocking, but people are acting like these two guys sat down and negotiated a fight, and then Floyd Mayweather made special rules, for Conor McGregor to fight under, right? Like if boxing hasn't been around for over 100 years, it's just the way they frame it. They literally make it sound like Mayweather's asking for a special rules fight. Like if it's not already an established sport, boxing, right? Floyd Mayweather is a boxer, all right? And Conor McGregor says he could beat him in boxing. That's why they're having a boxing fight, all right? And the reason they're making as much money as they're making is because it's a boxing fight. That's the reason why, right? The boxing model made it possible. Not the UFC model, not the MMA model, right? Now, are you sure it's not the other way around? Because are you sure that you don't want Conor to do all those other things so he could have a chance? Are you sure about that? I mean, I don't have a problem at all saying that Floyd wouldn't beat Conor in a cage. I don't have a problem saying that. Okay, but let me tell you something. Conor ain't beating Floyd in a boxing match. Right? It isn't gonna happen. Right, but let's the nut huggery is going to start. Oh, and then a big puffy gloves, right? You see, this is the problem I have with a lot of these. This guy, you're going to tell right now, he's coming off as like unbiased, and he starts that way. But just like anything, like the more you start talking, the more you start exposing, more openings start happening. Okay, and let's the big puffy. Let me tell you something, man. What happened to the whole anytime like someone says like it depends who they're talking to, right? One moment boxing just the big puffy gloves and it's no big deal, and it's pity pat fighting and that's it, right? Well, when they're talking about just depending on what the circumstances, right? When somebody starts talking about banning MMA, all of a sudden boxing is the most dangerous sport in the world, right? And it is dangerous. I mean, I know that. But all of a sudden, they bring out the statistics. Oh, more people die in boxing than in MMA. And, look at the head trauma and injuries sustained in boxing compared to MMA. And MMA is safer because, when the guy's hurt, he can actually grab onto a guy and all this other bullshit. Well, what happened to all that? Huh? So this shit's insane, all right? Let's move on. Let's continue.
He's already won. I mean, the man has positioned himself. He has made himself so compelling as an athlete, as a personality, as a character. He's upset people, but he's ingratiated people. People love him. There used to be a lot of people wanting to see him fail, and now he's won those people over too. It's hard to not like this guy. And part of it is, and I think the real appeal of Conor McGregor is his fighting spirit. It's what the Irish appreciate. Irish people will love you. If you're Irish and you go out there and try and represent and show pride and show strength and show courage, they'll love you. You could lose. I've seen Irish fans lose soccer matches like 5-0 and standing ovation for their team for trying. About 20 years ago, Ireland played England national teams. They tied 1-1. They printed up T-shirts. That's how proud they were of that tie. Now, if you're from Ireland and you actually win at something, you become world famous, an international champion. Forget about it. I mean, you are going to be deified, and that's what the man has become. The Mexicans the same way. They appreciate the spirit of the fighter, the never say die mentality, which is why when Roberto Duran gave up and said no mas, people were like shocked. They're like, what? A Mexican fighter is giving up? Huh? So
All right. So first of all, Roberto Duran is not Mexican, right? Um, it's just you know. Yeah. All right. Okay. You know, it's I've heard people refer to Duran as a Mexican fighter. You know, but he's not Mexican. It's you know, just saying. Just details. You know, but you know, for those that say, well, what's the big deal? That's like me calling Connor, okay, an Englishman, right, or calling Connor a Frenchman. Okay, it's basically equal to that. Okay, it's like saying, oh yeah, that Spaniard Conor McGregor. That's how you sound. That Italian guy Conor McGregor. You know, like it's Roberto Duran is not Mexican. Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, dude. Okay, it's funny because he's saying names like Roberto Duran, and you know, he's just, you know, throwing names out there, like, because the no mas thing is very, you know, it's famous. It transcends even above beyond boxing. Um, so names like Duran, Ali, Leonard, even Hagler Hearns. It's usually Hagler Hearns together. You know. Um, but it makes me wonder if this guy ever even saw Roberto Duran fight. Like, you know, did he ever really see him fight, or does he just know about that story? I don't know, right? But like what is this shit? Like the fighting spirit? Like, what the fuck is that? Let's all that poetic bullshit. All bullshit aside. So what? Every other fighter on earth doesn't have fighting spirit, or what? You know, like what? Like nobody else is a fighting spirit. Like nobody else, you know, has ever proven the doubters wrong. Is that what you're saying? Like, I agree with the, you know, the Irish fans are passionate fans. You know, they're loyal fans. Okay, so there's nothing against the Irish. You know, Irish fans, props to you guys. You guys are loyal as fuck. That's cool. Okay, but you know, this whole, it's gonna get worse, man. The nut huggery gets worse. But let's continue.
Reason why Connor is so compelling as an athlete is because he risked everything. If you don't know his backstory, he was an apprentice to being a plumber, hated the job, used to travel, you know, go out to these random places and work on pipes and whatnot. He was on welfare. He had a loyal girlfriend who, you know, loved him for who he was, but aside from that, his prospects were pretty shit. Found MMA. You know, this is a kid, a small guy, used to get picked on growing up. Became tough, became hardened in the streets of Dublin. Did not come from a good part of Dublin. By the way, I'm going to Dublin in a few days to see Ricky Gervais. But he decides, you know what, I'm not going to live this life. I want to take a chance. I'm going to risk everything. And people might laugh at me. Look, you know, who am I? I'm not some great fighter, but I'm going to try it. That takes a lot of courage. If you have the courage to get into a ring and in public, get into a fight with somebody for money, I mean, dude, it's pretty impressive, win, lose, or draw. But the guy starts winning. He has a goal. I'm going to become the Cage Rage champion. And he would announce it on the microphone every time out. He'd say, look, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to become the champion, not only of this one division, 145, I'm going to be 155. I'm going to be the 2-division champion of Cage Rage, which was the local league out there in Ireland, or I guess the UK. And he starts winning. Now he loses early on. Had a couple losses.
Right. Look, yeah, he did lose early on. But here's the thing. So I mean, I get, like, I'm not saying it's not a good story, okay? That he was an apprentice for a plumber. Is that even true? I don't know. I'll believe him. Fuck it. Okay. He also said Duran's a fucking Mexican, so who knows, right? But I'll believe him. It's probably true. Okay. It sounds like he's big enough of a Connor fan, obviously, to know, right? And you know, and he was on welfare, and you know, like, those, I'm sorry, those stories are a dime a dozen when it comes to fighting. Okay. And they're great stories, but like, I'm just saying, Like, it's not unique. It's there's nothing unique about that. It's like every other story. You think everybody had it easy, like coming up, or what? Like, you don't think like every guy who has a belt right now in any sport, boxing or MMA, told people that they were going to be champion one day. Like, you don't think that they proved the doubters wrong, and too, like, what does that mean? Like, cage rage, like, what? Okay, but let's move on.
Game was shit because if you grow up in Ireland, you're not growing up training wrestling, let alone jiu-jitsu. They have a history in boxing, but they're way behind on the grappling arts. Until he teamed up with his coach, who eventually trained him up. His coach is a good jiu-jitsu player, but until you get those skills up to par, people are going to take you down, submit you, and that's what happened to him early on. So he comes back from those losses. Oh, what are you doing? You trying to be a fighter? Like, what are you doing with your life? You're on welfare. You're nothing. You have no money. You have no future. He says, no, I'm going to do this. I'm doing this. I don't care what you say. And he would talk about it in the forums. He would post this. He'd say, I'm the future, he'd say. Watch. Remember my name. He told that to Bruce Buffer. He went to see UFC, like some early UFC, I think, that went out to Ireland, or maybe it was England, and he basically called his shot. So he wins the championship in cage rage against all odds. The guy's knocking people out. The guy has the touch of death, and he is talking trash. Now, in Ireland, his brand of trash talk, it's kind of the same as everybody else. I mean, they love him because he's one of them, but it's not that out of the ordinary. His bravado, his swagger is kind of like a lot of other Dublinites. Dublinians. It's like that fat, bearded truther dude, Carl Snorgon of Borcod. People are like, ooh, I like the way his voice sounds. He has an accent. Well, everybody in Swindon has that accent, so it's not a big deal. Now he's just some Le Pen, Trump-supporting truther with an accent. Congrats. So winning that local circuit out there wasn't enough for him. His goal was to become a UFC champion. And that was early on. He would state that in interview after interview. And he gets his shot in the UFC, and he's an underdog. First fight out, he's taking on a guy who did really well on The Ultimate Fighter, the TV show. And he came out, I mean, he barely had any money, had no sponsors. He came out with the Irish flag. Everybody else is putting up sponsors. He's got the Irish flag. And he wins his fight in spectacular fashion. Knocks the guy out. Knocks him clean out. Uppercuts, just devastating. Bloodied him. It was crazy. Next fight, takes on Max Holloway. Max Holloway is an incredible fighter. Max Holloway, after losing to Conor McGregor, won his next 9 fights and is now the champion.
All right. Well, what happened here? I lost connection. Come on now. All right. All right. Anyway, might as well pause it there. Let's check it out. All right. What does all this have to do with? It's like me. Like you'd ask me, hey, why do you think Floyd Mayweather is gonna win? Ah, you don't understand. I mean, Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he was an Olympian. After getting robbed in the Olympics, he turned pro, right? And they were bringing him up slow, and you wouldn't even believe it. But I mean, he wanted to fight Renato Hernandez at a very young age. Renato Hernandez was a fucking beast, but crafty veteran. A young kid like Floyd, you could ruin a kid's career if you put him in the ring too early against a guy like Renato Hernandez. I mean, in fact, HBO didn't even want to make that fight that early. Okay, there was some people criticizing them, Floyd Mayweather's camp for even trying to put him in the ring in there with Renato Hernandez. But you know what Floyd Mayweather did? Not only did he go out there and win, he dominated. He destroyed Renato Hernandez. In fact, and then, shortly after that, there was this big, giant 130-pounder called Diego Corrales, was just destroying everybody, knocking everybody out. Mayweather was a little itty-bitty little Floyd. He was just an itty-bitty little thing, but and everybody was saying that he was going to get knocked out, by this monster because he was just destroying everybody. Floyd was a big underdog. And against all odds, I mean, he destroyed him. He knocked him down multiple times. He just embarrassed him, just destroyed him. Like, I mean, what the fuck does that have to do with the Conor McGregor fight? Well, that has nothing. Anybody could do that. You could do that about anybody's story, right? You can say that about what about Ossie De La Hoya's story, right? What about him? He came from poverty and all that. Okay, and he won a fucking gold medal. You know, he promised his dying mother he was going to win a gold medal for her. Okay, beat that fucking story. Okay, oh, cage rage. Fuck, shut up. All right, these like want me to be impressed with this story. Get the hell out of here. All right, are you kidding me? Look at Bernard Hopkins' story. Motherfucker went to prison. Right, he was walking out. Warden told him, "You'll be back," and he said, "No, I won't." Right, lost his first professional boxing fight. Get the fuck out of here. All right, like trying to impress me. Like this is supposed to tell me something. What the fuck does this have to do with him beating Floyd? Nothing. Let's move on.
Just beat Jose Aldo. Just beat Anthony Pettis. I mean, this guy is a great fighter. Now, true, he caught him pretty young, but so was Conor. Conor was very young at the time as well. During that fight, he blows out his ACL. Major injury to his knee. Career ending. But with modern technology, he gets reconstructive surgery, takes a year off. And that was right when the hype train was building up for him. And people were like, oh, that's a shame because he had some flair and he's kind of funny because he looks like a leprechaun and he talks shit. And he had a pretty good punch. So, he was a colorful character. But, he has no ground game, so he's probably going to end up getting tapped out. And it's not going to amount to much, but, it was fun while it lasted. Takes the year off. He comes back. I forget the order, but he takes on this little German guy, actually a good veteran. Good kickboxer. Calls him a little midget Nazi. Had to apologize for it. He beats his ass. But people say, oh, yeah, but you can beat him, but he's an older fighter. He's not top 10. You can't beat a wrestler. You can't beat somebody who has a name. Next thing, he headlines a show in Dublin. God, could there be more cars and noise in this fucking city? Headlines the show against a guy who had made it to the finals of The Ultimate Fighter. Brazilian guy. Big puncher. And he beats his ass and he makes him crumble. He's hailed as a national hero. People say, yeah, but you're not going to beat the top guys of the division. You can't beat a wrestler. He gets a shot against a top 10 guy, top 5 guy, Dustin Poirier, an established winner in the UFC. And he knocks him clean out. And then finally, he's going to get his shot against Jose Aldo, the champion, the guy who's not lost in decades. Apparently, nobody told Conor that he's not supposed to be doing all this. He's supposed to have huge defensive liabilities. He's supposed to be inexperienced. He's not supposed to have the quality of the opponents that he's going up against. Jose pulls out due to injury. Chad Mendes comes in. Chad Mendes is team alpha male, all-American wrestler, total stud, has been dropping people in the division. And he takes the fight on short notice, goes into Vegas, gets taken down the first round, gets bloodied, slashing elbow from the top by Chad Mendes, whom the Brazilians refer to as Chad Mange. But in the second round, he gets up, he pummels him, he kicks him to the body, he knocks him out. He becomes the interim champion. The interim champion, not the full champion, because that's Jose Aldo. And you're not going to beat Jose Aldo.
All right, so all right. Again, like this whole all this is to set up the whole premise of no, when McGregor says he's going to do something, he does it. Like, you don't understand. Everyone's always doubted him, and every time people doubt him, every time he proves the doubters wrong. That's what this is. All right, all that. It's just like that's all you have to say. But no, it's all trying to prove a point here, right? Like if Conor McGregor's the first guy in the history of the UFC to fight up the ranks. He's the first guy to ever do it, apparently, right? He's the only guy in history to have a string of victories and beat number one contenders and win the championship. He's the only guy to do it ever. He's the only guy ever. I mean, they're talking like he's the only guy that's knocked guys out in the UFC. It's just like the way when they say these things, they're making it sound like it's like other people don't do it or something. Okay. Hey, but why do you gotta be like that, D-Style? Okay, it's a good story. Okay, make a movie about it then. But don't use it as a breakdown to tell me how he's going to be Floyd. Let's move on.
Jose Aldo is way too good for him. It's going to be a cakewalk for the Brazilian champion. I go to that matchup in Las Vegas, UFC 194, and he beats Jose Aldo in 13 seconds, knocks him out.
All right. First of all right. Look, I'm not going to take away that victory. That was a good victory, right? Even though Jose Aldo, it's Jose Aldo, not Jose Aldo. Okay, but this dude thinks Duran's Mexican, so it doesn't matter, right? Um, I get it, right? Jose Aldo was hailed as top pound for pound guy, undefeated for so long, and Connor knocked him out. That's great. I mean, that's good, you know. But like, I guess what I'm trying to understand is Connor's not the first guy. Like Dos Santos like knocked out Cain Velasquez in the first round. Like it's shit like that happens in MMA all the time. You know how many first round like remember when Rampage knocked out Chuck Liddell like in the first round? Like it's like this shit happens. All right, like it's not unique to Conor McGregor. All right, especially in the UFC. Those guys just aren't as good at slipping punches and rolling with shots and taking punches like boxers are. They're just not. All right, they just aren't. It's not just because they have little gloves. Okay, does that have something to do with it? Yeah, but it's not just that. Okay, every time you see Conor McGregor knock somebody out, and you see how ridiculously open they were, right? High level fighters, okay, in boxing don't leave themselves that open. It just isn't going to happen that way, right? But let's move on.
Nobody's ever done it before. It was an unbelievable, meteoric rise to become the champion. And Connor did it. What does he do after? He immediately wants to take on the champion of the weight class above him. He wants to be the 155-pound champ. Now, the 155 division, the lightweight division, has long been considered the toughest division in the UFC. He says, yeah, whatever. I'm going to take the champion on, Rafael dos Anjos. He risks everything. He's going all in right after his historic string of victories to become the champion. He goes, yeah, I want to take on that champion. I want to risk it all. And this is why people love him. Now, Rafael dos Anjos pulls out because of an injury, like 10 days before the event. They put in Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is a tough UFC veteran, a stylistic nightmare, a larger human being than Conor McGregor, with a skill set that is going to be very difficult to contend with, and endless cardio. He takes the fight short notice. He takes it at 170. He moves up to 170 pounds. Okay, we're talking about a 145-pound guy fighting at 170, which is not something that he has done before, especially not against a UFC proven winner, the winner of The Ultimate Fighter, Nate Diaz. He takes him on, kicks his ass in the first round, bloodies him up, makes his face look like a pizza, gasses out in the second round, gets caught with a punch, shoots for a takedown, gets out jiu-jitsu'd by a Gracie black belt in jiu-jitsu. There's no shame in that. Gets choked out. So he loses. So everybody revels in this. Oh, yeah, go online. You lost. Here are the memes. Here are the tweets.
Well, apparently McGregor's visions didn't do anything for him that time, right? Look, first of all, it is true that Nate Diaz is a bigger guy than Conor McGregor, okay? But the size difference, I mean, Nate is skinny and tall. He's not like a big frame dude. That's number one, okay? But yes, he's bigger, but the size disparity is so over-exaggerated, okay? The reason they fought at 170 was because Nate Diaz took the fight on short notice. Nate Diaz was campaigning at 155, okay? That's his weight class. They fought at 170 because Nate Diaz had a real short camp. He didn't have time to make that weight cut. Okay, I like how people always conveniently leave that out, right? And Conor McGregor is not a 145-pound guy, okay? Okay, he was 145 pounds on the scale, looking like a fucking skeleton, okay? Conor's a 145-pound guy, just like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is a 160-pound guy, all right? It's not quite the truth, all right? He would outweigh opponents by a lot. He's a much bigger dude than those featherweights, all right? It's clear to see, okay? He made the weight, whatever, but he's not walking around at 145, okay? That's not his walking around weight. Nate Diaz outweighed him by about 15 pounds or so. That was the in the octagon weight difference. So whenever they tell you that's 15 pounds. So whenever they tell you a 145-pound guy fought a 170-pound guy, that is so misleading. It's not even funny. Right? Also, Nate Diaz is not known as a monster puncher, and he's not a proven winner. Okay, he's a 500 fighter. He bats 500 in the UFC. Okay, he wins one, he loses one, and every time he steps up in competition, he loses. Right? Everybody knows that. I mean, I don't even follow UFC that much, and I know that. Right? But he hurt Conor with the right hand, by the way. Oh, we're not going to talk about that. Like, is that not significant? Does that not matter? Right? But anyway, let's move on.
Everybody trying to tap dance on his grave. That's what they do. The haters, they enjoy that. They enjoy the failure of others because they themselves fail. So at least they can have company in their misery. But okay, he lost to a larger guy.
You know, I'm sure that you wanted to see Floyd lose doesn't have anything. There's no connection there, right? And the irony here, right? The irony. But let's move on.
He lost in a weight class that he's not even supposed to be in. He's the 145-pound champ, so surely he should just go back and fight at 145 and, maybe try to make some more money, and he'll have a nice career. Nope, Conor says, I want a fucking rematch right now. And by the way, after the fight, immediately after the fight, Conor put on a suit and tie, went to the press conference, and answered every single question. Analyzed his performance, commended Nate Diaz, said, yep, I lost tonight. I gave it my best. We had a good fight, good crack, I think you might call it. I don't know, there's some Irish lingo for that. He says, yeah, I'll get him next time, though. His fans, his family, his training partners, his coaches, nobody wanted him to take that rematch. They said, what are you doing? The man bested you. He has better jiu-jitsu. He's too big. He can take your punches. It's a bad style matchup. It's not a smart move. You have a brand to protect. You've made a lot of money. You're the champ at 145. That means something. You can defend that belt. Don't do this. Don't make it personal.
Let me guess. And then Conor did it, and he prevailed, right? Right.
Do not rematch this guy. Conor ignored all that and said, no, I'm rematching him. They said, okay, fine. If you're going to rematch him, fight him at a lower weight. Have him fight at 155. Do not fight at 170. You're not a 170-pound fighter. When you cut to 145, you have a physical advantage over your opponents. They can't deal with your power and your speed and your accuracy. 170, you're a smaller guy. You're not even cutting weight to make that. In fact, he came into that fight at 168. He couldn't even make 170. He said, no, I'm going in. He risked everything. If you lose 2 in a row, it's going to destroy your brand. All of the heat you've generated from all your wins will now be damaged goods. The same guy beat you twice in a row? What? He said, no, I'm doing it. He went in, beat the fucking snot out of Nate Diaz. Dropped him 3 times in the first 2 rounds. I mean, crushed him. Kicked his legs into oblivion. Now, Nate, being the tough guy that he was, won the 3rd round and barely edged out the 5th round. But that partly because...
Right. First of all, you could make a very good argument that Nate Diaz won that second fight, right? But honestly, it doesn't matter. Why is it that every single video I run into, right? They're talking about all this shit. They can't explain to me how he's going to be Floyd. It's all, no, I don't know. He's going to do it. I believe. He believes in himself. Let me tell you, everybody doubted him when he was going to fight Aldo. He was an underdog, I think, but not like that big of an underdog. There's many people that I remember that there was people picking him to win, like fighters and stuff. Like, it's not like, it was, what are you talking about? All right. And then, like, I don't know. Like, this shit's weird. I think he was a favorite going into the fight with Alvarez. I could be wrong about that, but I believe he was. Right. I mean, there's this whole, like, no, you don't understand. Everybody always doubts him. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, not like that. Like, not the way you guys are making it sound. You guys are making it sound that this dude was, like, pulling, like, Buster Douglas's all the time, okay, on Tyson's. Like, that's not what he's doing. Okay, relax. Like when, what's funny? Whenever he was going to fight Aldo, they actually made arguments, technical arguments, why he's going to beat him. Okay, when he was going to fight Nate Diaz, when he was going to fight whoever he fought, you couldn't break it down as to why he was going to beat them. They didn't start talking about his days in cage rage and when he was an apprentice plumber, all right?
Faded with his cardio. Nate Diaz is a triathlete. Nate Diaz is known for never gassing. So you basically have to kill the guy before he quits. But, I mean, clearly, and especially in today's scoring, the first round should have been a 10-8 round. It was a solid victory for Conor. Surprise, surprise, motherfuckers. The king is back. That's where he dropped that quote. He wins. He just gets revenge against the guy who beat him and humiliated him in public, restoring his honor and throwing up a middle finger to every single one of his haters, and also cashing a few $1 million in a fat-ass paycheck. So now, surely he should go back to 145, defend his belt, and, give some time. Nope. He says, fuck it, I'm going after 155. I want the king of 155. Now, while he was fighting Nate Diaz, the belt switched hands at 155, and Eddie Alvarez, the champion from Bellator, had taken the belt, knocked out Rafael dos Anjos. But he said, no, I'm going to fight him. I'm going to fight him in Madison Square Garden. And I went to that fight as well. Well, I saw the press conference and the weigh-ins, and I rented an apartment in Chelsea right next to Madison Square Garden where me and a few friends met up and watched. Everybody was picking Eddie Alvarez to win that. Huge. All the experts, all the insiders. Oh, Eddie's too much. Eddie's going to outclass him. He's taking on the champion at a higher weight division, risking his career, risking it all. He destroys Eddie Alvarez, knocks him out in the first punch. Or knocks him down, at least. I mean, absolutely.
This is, come on, he's risking his career. Really? I mean, this is insane. Like, really? He wasn't risking his career. All right, get the fuck out of here.
It was an absolutely sensational performance. He wins both belts like he said he would back when he was a teenager. He cashes more millions of dollars and is basically the king of the world. So after that, he takes some time off, cranks out a kid, impregnates his wife, goes back home, continues to train, starts talking shit, saying he wants to fight Floyd Mayweather. Huh? What? Take on a boxer? You're not a boxer. So after all that he's done, after all the people he's proven wrong, he says, here's what I'm going to do next. Here's what I'm going to will into existence. He decides to risk it all again, go into a situation where he is overmatched, he's not supposed to win, he's not supposed to be there, and he's going to do it anyway. Would you bet against this guy? It's like what Conor said. The power he has at his weight class, especially around 155, which is in and around the weight that they're going to fight at with him and Floyd. When he hits you, you go down. People go down. Now, that's with MMA gloves. So the question is, can it translate to boxing?
All right. So he's going to get to, I guess, his breakdown of how he's going to be Floyd. But, I mean, holy shit. I mean, do you guys, like, for all you McGregor fans out there, do you got to go through all that? No, you don't understand. Every single time people count him out, he proves everybody wrong. That is literally the story of every fighter that became a champion. Okay? I'm not trying to be an asshole, but it is. Okay? You think Conor's the first guy to proclaim when he was a teenager that he's going to be champion of the world? Not the first guy to do that. Everyone that gets into a combat sport has a dream of becoming the man in their division or whatever. Okay? Everybody has those visions and those dreams, and everybody puts on yearbooks. Like when Sergio Mora put in his high school yearbook, I will be the future 154-pound WBC champion. And when he beat Vernon Forrest, he told everybody, I told everybody doubted me. Look at me now. Okay? Everyone if you want to become a champion, okay, everyone, all right, had a vision and a goal, and they achieved that goal. That's why they're champions. Okay? That's not unique to Conor McGregor. That's the only point I'm trying to make. Telling me that story, all right, doesn't in any way, shape, or form explain to me how he's gonna beat Floyd Mayweather. It doesn't explain that. All right? It doesn't even come close to explaining it. Okay? I mean, you're just telling me his background story. That doesn't mean shit when the bell rings. It doesn't mean anything. Seriously. And let me tell you this. If Conor has a touch of death, do you really think, right? First of all, there's a little bit of a misconception, right? First of all, boxing gloves cover the fingers as well, okay, and the thumb all the way, right? They're also more padded on the sides, right? Okay, and they're padded all the way, like passing the wrists. When you're talking about just the knuckles, all right, there's not that much of a difference between the boxing glove. And to be honest with you, a puncher's glove in boxing, all right, as it gets worn down, okay, has way less padding on the knuckle than those UFC gloves, right? So let's not even fucking kid ourselves. You guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about, right? This guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Now, I'll admit, those crank gloves, okay, they're not puncher's gloves. By Mayweather have, the way the padding is structured is more than your ordinary boxing glove, but 10 ounces, guys, is not that much. Okay? 10 ounces of foam padding is not a lot. So if he has a touch of death, it doesn't matter if you land clean with an MMA glove or a boxing glove, there's very little difference on the impact. All right? It's the boxing glove doesn't reduce the amount of the impact. And if it does, it's very minor. It's very minor. The boxing glove is designed for your hands won't break, right? That's what they're designed. They're designed to protect your hand. So if your hand, right, is designed not to be broken, right, or not your hand. I'm sorry. If the glove is designed to protect your hand from breaking, you're gonna throw punches a lot harder, right? Just like padding in the NFL. You think NFL players will run into each other and tackle each other as hard if they didn't have all that padding? No, they wouldn't, right? So anyway, let's proceed, okay?
But the man has power. Ask every guy who's fought him. He says, if you weigh anything close to me, if you don't have some advantage over me, you got to come with something, because if it's just you and me and a guy that's my size, I'm going to knock him out. So when you tell me that a 28-year-old man is fighting a 40-year-old man, and the 28-year-old is known for his incredible power, and he has nothing to lose whatsoever, and has already won $100 million coming into the fight, that's a scary combination. Conor McGregor is loose and smiling under the most pressure-filled situations. Every one of his fights, he comes out loose as a goose. This fight, he's going to be real loose. Watch him walk into the cage. Does this look like a man who's intimidated by pressure situations? This man is zen, and he is effective at what he does. Now, Floyd has many advantages. He is a skilled boxer. He's a gold medal winning boxer. He's an undefeated champion.
No, he's not. Anyway, Floyd's a bronze medalist, right? He's not a gold medalist, right? Some argue he got robbed and he should have got to the gold medal match, but wrong again, right? But that's not here nor there. Details, right? That's all details, right? You don't think Mayweather told people he's going to be champion of the world when he was little, right? You don't think he told people that? You don't think he told people? I mean, when Mayweather was at 140 and he was calling out De La Hoya at 154, right? I could stand here, okay, and I could just give these stupid stories, like, and everybody thought he was too small, but he moved up, and it's just dumb shit. You know how many guys have outweighed Floyd by 20 plus pounds, and I could, tell these stories and make them sound like David versus Goliath and shit. All right, like, get the fuck out of here. All right, honestly. All right, but it's Connor. Oh, he's got confidence. Connor's confident. He's got he believes in himself, and he's got confidence. Do some of you listen to yourselves? Does this guy listen to himself? No, but he believes in himself. He believes. I mean, Pacquiao believed in himself. Who's all smiling and shit walking out to the ring too? It didn't mean anything. Ding ding, the show's over. It doesn't matter how you walk to the ring. Like Connor was walking like Vince McMahon, and does that look like a guy that lacks confidence? Like I mean, we're 3/4 through this, and he hasn't explained at all how he's going to be Floyd.
He's proven himself time and time again, but he has great defense. What does it mean? He's quick. He does not get hit. The point of fighting is to, yes, inflict damage, but not be hit. Do not take damage. And he's great at that. Connor's not really concerned about that. Connor will let you punch him. He is concerned about him.
Really? He just lets people hit him, or he's just easy to hit? Like, let's be a little real here, okay? Let's be real. Right? But here comes the butt. Here comes the butt.
Offense. Now, he's quite a good counter striker, so he will let you swing, and then he will come back over the top. And he has speed and he has accuracy and power. And that's, I mean, it's a deadly combination. Speed kills. They say that in sports, speed kills. But in combat sports, speed and power kills. Floyd Mayweather is not known for his knockout power. He's known for outpointing guys in boring fights, in which he avoids damage, dances around, uses a jab, and basically just outclasses guys and wins on the judges' scorecards. Which is not exciting. It's not, it's whatever. But that's the difference between boxing and MMA. MMA is like a cage fight. It's much more true to what an actual fight is. Boxing is like you're dancing around and you're trying to, it's like a game. You're just trying to outpoint your opponent. So there's nothing gratifying about it. And the judges are corrupt as hell. And it's like, oh yeah, you barely won a round because you got a couple more punches. It's not in any way satisfying. So he's got great defense. He's got great cardio. And he's got a ton of experience and a ton of technique and skill. The question is, has he deteriorated? I mean, he was semi-retired.
All right, so look. First of all, let me tell you something, okay? Do you know who sanctions MMA in the United States and also in the UK and all that? Do you know who sanctions it? Does anybody want to take a guess? Right? Boxing commissions do. Okay? Boxing commissions, all right, sanction mixed martial arts. That's including the UFC in this country, which means they provide the judges. Right? So those same sanctioning bodies that, everybody, boxing, this is the problem with boxing. The judges and blah, 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 blah. They should do it the way MMA does. What are you guys talking about? They use the boxing commissions, all right? Boxing already had it's had a system in place for decades, right? And those boxing commissions made your sport possible, okay? Because of boxing commissions, you got boxing gloves, not boxing gloves, but, those gloves, which, in all honesty, I believe help make your sport more exciting, right? You were able to get gloves. You were able to, you were forced to put rounds in place. Okay, where did all this come from? Okay, well, what do they use to score mixed martial arts fights? A 10-point must system. That's what they use, right? That's what they use. Hell, they even use compy strike. All right, get the fuck out of here, right? Which, by the way, if you're an MMA fan, you should totally question that, okay? Believe me. But anyway, right? That's another thing. I'm just saying. Does this guy know that? Probably not. Most MMA fans don't know that, okay? They just don't know that, right? It's truth, right? It's the truth, man. Okay, I'm just saying. And like in Vegas, once it became like sanctioned in Nevada, right? MMA and the UFC, they had to do the same testing protocols that boxers had to do, okay? The physicals boxers do, they have to take those physicals, okay? The only exception that, for whatever reason, MMA doesn't have to follow, all right, is the Ali Act. That's it. That's the only exception, right? Aside from that, it's boxing commissions that sanction the whole thing, right? And it's boxing commissions that provide the judges, all right? So it's the same fucking commission. So this whole like, the boxing's corrupt and The people running boxing, like, what are you talking about? Like, it's the same fucking commissions, right? Now the promoters and all that is different, right? Because in boxing you have sanctioning bodies, and you also have like promoters, independent promoter. Like it's all different in that sense. Where in the US, in MMA, there's leagues, right? And there's league champions, which is different. All that's different, right? I get that, but I'm just saying.
He is older. He has had a long layoff. Did he get old overnight? Can he take Conor McGregor's punch? Can Conor outsmart him? The first few rounds will probably be a feeling out process where they try to get each other's timing, and Conor, he might get completely outclassed from start to finish. And even if that's the case, Conor could get knocked out in the first round and laugh his way out of that arena, having won all of that money. He could do that. He could walk out and say, hey guys, I'm retiring as a fighter. Thanks for the memories. I had an incredible time. I'm not a boxer. I tried my best. This guy's a good champ. I was supposed to lose. I mean, what do you want from me? I tried. Conor has tried and failed and returned against insurmountable odds, seeking to accomplish the absolutely impossible, and has done so time and time again. He has not been unblemished. He has had setbacks. He has persevered through them and shown his true character, his character of a champion. He's done it while telling jokes and talking massive shit and looking good the entire time. What can he do to Floyd? He can throw the kitchen sink at him. He can throw uppercuts. He can wing that left hand and put that touch of death on him. He can try to goad him into a fight. He can showboat on him, try to get him out of his element. Right? Floyd is supposed to win. I mean, both these guys have already won. It's a marketing bonanza.
What can Conor do? You could throw uppercuts. Okay. He could throw the left hand. Like, okay. You could throw uppercuts and throw the touch of death at him. The touch of death. Get the fuck out of here. All right. But I don't know if Conor will have power. Like, really, like, you don't know if he'll have power with boxing gloves. Are you shitting me? Right? If he can't knock someone out with a boxing glove, then he doesn't have power. Okay? Like it didn't stop Tyson from knocking dudes out. It didn't stop Gennady Golovkin from, knocking dudes out. Okay? It doesn't, stop, anybody else from knocking dudes out. Why would it stop Conor McGregor if he has a touch of death? All right? This is the touch of death. The touch of death. Get the fuck out of here. All right? Like, are you kidding me? The touch of death. Like, are you shitting me? Are you fucking kidding me right now? The touch of death. That's the breakdown. He just has to get him with a touch of death. What is this, Mortal Kombat? What the fuck is this? What's next? Are you going to tell me he's got to do the Kamehameha? All right? Is he going to do that shit or what? All right? Get the fuck out of here. All right? Get the fuck out of here. All right?
Conor could lose the fight on points or get knocked out, whatever it is. Get the fight stopped due to a cut, and then get on the mic, crack a few jokes.
It's funny because he keeps saying it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter. Conor could get knocked out in the first round. He's a winner anyway. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But I'm telling you, what you bet against this guy? It's this talking out of both sides of their mouths, man. It's unbelievable. I've never witnessed something like this. Now, obviously, this is a dude that doesn't know boxing. You could just tell he doesn't know boxing. He could throw uppercuts. All right, throw him. Like what? How about Conor's got to establish a jab, right? How about he's got to find a way to counter a fighter who tucks his chin, is defensively responsible, right, and leaves you very short windows and opportunities to land punches. He's not going to come swing with both his hands down like Jose Aldo did. It's not going to happen that way, right? So you have to explain how he's going to do it. You have to explain this. Like it's not, you can't give me his whole life story like if it means something. It doesn't mean anything, all right? It means nothing, okay? Every fighter that goes to a ring or an octagon, for the most part, believe in themselves. And the ones that succeed, okay, for whatever reason, think that the world revolves around them and that they did something special. And in a way, it is special, okay? Because they're a very small percentage of the people that actually did what they sought out to do in sports, where a very small percentage actually become champions, okay? So I understand that. But right now, we're not talking like you're comparing Connor to 100% of the body of fighters out there. Right now, we're not comparing Connor to 1%. I'm sorry, 100% of the body of fighters out there. We're not even. We're not. It's not even 1% of the body of fighters out there, right? He is fighting a fighter who's probably 1/10 of 1%, right? And that's special. That's the type of fighter, and that's where you got to compare Connor right now. That's what he's confronted with, right? How about a guy that's never lost in the boxing ring? How about that? Okay, arguably, I mean, I thought he lost to Castillo, but whatever, right? He's never lost officially. He's never lost in the boxing ring. That talking about odds and all that, right? I mean, in one side of their mouth, they talk about, well, he's old, he's this, he's that. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he beat him. I believe in Connor. And the other side of their mouth, they're acting like Floyd's got to do this, and he does. Floyd's got to beat Connor. I mean, that's what logic says. Like all logic points towards Floyd's got to win this fight. All logic, right? But right now, this is a microcosm of the way your casual person views boxing. All right, I'm not going to play the rest because but this is a microcosm of it, right? They don't, in general, people have a weird, skewed vision of boxing, right? Like I don't know what it is. Like when people say, "Oh, they're just going to wear the big puffy gloves." I mean, are people aware of the type of injuries and the type of damage that boxers walk away from after every fight? Like even when you have a dominating performance, I mean, you got your body still hurts the next day. You know what I mean? It's I saw a interview by Andre Ward. It's when he's talking about it's people think, I think it was after the Arthur Abraham fight. People think because I had a dominating performance, but at the end of the day, he may have landed a low percentage of punches, but at the end of the day, a grown ass man punched me that many times. Like a grown ass man, punched me whatever it was 90 times. That's you're gonna feel that. This is a trained individual. Let me tell you something. This isn't a game, okay? This is not patty cake, right? That's not what this is. I don't care like how you perceive Floyd Mayweather Jr., right? And this is coming from someone who I obviously respect Floyd and his boxing IQ. I think he's a phenomenal defensive fighter, right? But this is coming from someone who I don't particularly prefer his style. Okay, I don't, but I respect it. And I will say this: those punches are going to hurt, right? Mayweather Jr. has thrown a jab probably 1,000,000 times in his lifetime. When you combine it with pro fights, amateur fights, shadow boxing, hitting mitts, sparring, right? He's probably thrown a jab 1,000,000 times, right? How many times do you think he's thrown a left hook? How many times do you think he's thrown his right hand? How many times do you think he's thrown all these different punches? And that's all he's done. The precision, all right, it's not even funny. Okay, it's not. When you watch Floyd Mayweather in slow motion, It is honestly a thing of beauty, right? And I'm just saying that. I'm not saying this as a big Mayweather fan because I'm not a big Mayweather fan. I'm not. Okay, and I don't even fault people if they find it boring. I'm not one of those guys that, oh, come on, the sweet science. Like me, like I like what I like. I appreciate it. Not everybody has to appreciate it. Okay, but the reality is, all right, Mayweather is fighting guys. Like this is the reality. Okay, because I get it. Connor's knocking everybody out. Like what does everybody mean, right? And Floyd Mayweather hasn't knocked anybody out in years. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is fighting trained professionals who are just better at slipping punches, rolling with shots, taking punches, blocking punches, evading punches than Connor has. Okay? That is a fact, and there's absolutely no debate about that. None. When Floyd Mayweather Jr. lands a jab on Conor McGregor, it's gonna feel to Conor. It's gonna feel he's gonna wish he was getting hit by those MMA guys with those MMA gloves. Okay, when he gets hit with a fucking jab, it's gonna feel like a power punch because that's gonna be sharp, and he's never felt something that sharp ever, not even close. He never has. When that right hand of Mayweather lands, his head will snap back. All right? And he's going to quickly realize that this isn't a fucking game. It's not a game. Right? So this whole, like I said earlier, this whole like, oh, but the big puffy glove. Like, let me tell you something. Again, right? Look at an MMA glove. Those are 4 ounces. They're going to box with 10 ounces, right? That's a 6 ounce difference. 6 ounces difference is not a big difference. Okay, it's not. Now when you're throwing full-fledged punches, right, in a fist fight, it's not a big difference. But it's not even that much of a difference in all reality. MMA gloves, the majority, about 95% of the fucking padding is on the knuckle, right? It's on the knuckles. The majority of the padding. They're not covering the fingers. They're not covering the thumb. Okay, they're not covering the like the side of the wrist. Okay, around the wrist. Like there's practically no padding there. In the boxing glove, there is. So when you're talking about the difference in the knuckle, it's not that big of a difference. See, I don't understand. Like people get this perception. Like I don't know what people are thinking. Right? Like I honestly believe, like if you get a Cleto Reyes glove or an Everlast MX glove with horsehair in it, okay, and a boxer's walking out the ring and just starts banging on that glove, okay, right in the knuckles, that shit has less padding than a fucking MMA glove. All right, certain boxes, like if you look at certain gloves, like the designs on them, right, like the one Gennady Golovkin wears. The curvature on the knuckle, it's basically at the fucking knuckle, right? That's basically where it is. There's a lot of padding around where the fingers are, okay, and above to where like your wrist will be. So I'm just saying, man, right? Like there's gonna be a rude awakening. There's gonna be a rude awakening, and now I'm gonna go to the chat. I haven't been to the chat, right? Chat time, chat time. I want to listen to myself. The hell? There's actually a delay, by the way. There's actually a delay. I just realized that. Mejia put McGregor's TBE laughing my ass off. LOL. Everyone who speaks Spanish is Mexican. Yeah, right? EJ Boxing Live, John Jones is the pound for pound number one. I actually agree with that. I believe John Jones is the number one pound for pound MMA fighter. I'm going to take pleasure in taking the fool's money like I do every Mayweather fight since Gotti. John Jones is an idiot. He has a slight favorite. I lost money in that fight. We'll fight. All right, EJ Boxing Live, still the pound for pound John Jones. Okay, I guess you're debating about John Jones. Connor's going to knock the black off of him, says Troublesome A. You sound like a Mayweather simp. Right. I'm sure, buddy, like I'm sure you're not swinging off of fucking Connor's nuts, bro. Okay? Like dudes come on here, right? Like saying that I'm sucking up to Floyd. But like while they say that, they're swinging off the nuts of Conor McGregor. Okay? They're swinging off those nuts. Like little kids at a playground and shit. Like, wee, push me. Push. They ask their daddy, Conor, to push them. Push me, daddy, while they're swinging on his fucking nuts. Okay? The fuck up. Right? Don't come to D-Style like that, man. You don't want to come to D-Style like that. You just don't. All right? Somebody's trying to bet him, right? So I put laughing my ass off. I can't wait till the day, or truth in his word. Put laughing my ass off. Can't wait till the day after the fight to see all the McGregor people reactions. Well, I know what they're gonna say. It's predictable what they're gonna say. They're talking like losers already, right? Like even the guy I was just putting, like they're talking like fucking losers, right? Every single video I hear or breakdown I hear, Conor has nothing to lose. Floyd should win. But you got to give Conor a chance because he has a big left hand. You got to give him a chance, right? But he's got nothing to lose, though. If he wins one round, he's a winner. He's a winner, right? And they're already talking about like every chance they get. And this is an MMA fight. I mean, Conor would win. We all know that. He would beat Floyd in 10 seconds. It wouldn't even be a fight. I mean, it's a boxing fight, because to make it more even. But Floyd should win. But Conor has a chance. He has a chance. Let me tell you something, man. Right? If they thought Conor had a chance, they wouldn't bring up MMA. Okay, they wouldn't say things like, "Oh, if he wins one round, he's a winner in my eyes." Okay, they're hoping he wins, so they could come out and say, "Hey, I told everybody he was going to win." But that's not really what they're saying. They're saying he has a chance and that he's proven people wrong in the past. That's all they're saying, right? But they're saving face because after the fight, they're going to say, "Well, yeah, Floyd's the boxer. Of course he was going to win." But it took him, 6 rounds to beat him, all right? Or 8 rounds, or it went to decision. He wouldn't last 10 seconds with Conor in the octagon. That's what they're going to say, right? It's predictable. The day after Floyd fights are the best. All right, Mejia put, LOL, is he Conor Moragra, I guess. Truth is word. Can't wait till August 27th. Somebody put, there was nothing wrong with what the guy just said. There was nothing wrong? So calling Duran a Mexican wasn't wrong? That's factually wrong. So why would you say there's nothing wrong? Are you still swinging off those nuts, bro? Right? All right, Gorguruga. Nate Diaz was pretty much outboxing Conor. That's why he needed to use his kicks too much in the second fight. J. Desi 4 put, I feel like Conor should have knocked out Paulie in sparring. Paulie was out of shape. He's old and he's retired. He has no power. So Conor would have nothing to fear, not to mention the size. Look, man, if Conor McGregor's at the brink of pulling off the upset against Floyd Mayweather, all right, then you would think that, yeah, he should be beating the crap out of Paulie Malignaggi, right? Like, let me put it to you this way, right? After Floyd Mayweather knocked out Ricky Hatton, right? Ricky Hatton came back, right, and beat the shit out of Paulie Malignaggi, okay? So if Ricky Hatton, who stopped a prime Paulie Malignaggi, okay, got knocked out by Floyd Mayweather, what do you think's going to happen to the guy who was sparring Conor McGregor while McGregor's in shape? He's out of shape. He's been retired. He's no longer nowhere near his prime. This guy finished getting stopped in the fourth round by Porter. He got stopped, I think, in the third by some European dude, right? And if this is a big if he's having a competitive sparring with Paulie Malignaggi, Houston or Dublin, we got a problem. Okay, that's a big problem. Okay, if he's to beat Mayweather, you would think he would be beating the shit out of Paulie, right? You would think. All right, like no. Look, let me tell you something, man. No one that's fought Mayweather in the last few years would hire an out of shape Paulie Malignaggi to be their sparring partner. Okay, it just wouldn't happen. It would be a waste of time. They would beat the shit out of Paulie, but it wouldn't mean anything. Okay, and here's the kicker, right? I'm reading between the lines with some of the stuff that Paulie's saying, right? And he can't say much because he's got a no disclose clause. We're gonna find out. There's a very good possibility, right, that Paulie's getting the best of Conor, right? Now people, oh, well, look at the picture. He had his hands behind his back. That doesn't mean anything. You got to land punches in boxing to be winning. Putting hands behind your back doesn't do anything. It just stops you from throwing punches. That's all, right? That's a still picture. That's all that is, right? So it's very possible that Paulie's beating him in sparring. Who fucking knows, right? But yeah, if you're gonna beat Mayweather, yeah, you should be knocking Paulie out in the fucking second round. Okay, I mean, I'm just saying, like Sean Porter destroyed Paulie. All right, he destroyed Paul, an in shape, full camp Paulie Malignaggi. Right, destroyed him. I don't think Porter would beat Mayweather. Right, just to put it in perspective for you. Right, I don't think Porter beats Mayweather. I think Mayweather outboxes him like 10 rounds to 2, to be honest. Okay. So like this idea that, oh, yeah, I think he's getting the best of Paulie. He's struggling with Paulie. It's whatever the case is, he should be destroying Paulie if he's at the brink of knocking out Mayweather. Okay. I'm just saying. There's levels to this, man. There's levels to boxing. There's levels to it, and maybe Conor is good enough to beat Paulie Malignaggi in a boxing fight, right? But even if he is, he's still a long way to go to catch up to a Floyd Mayweather, right? I mean, it's not even funny. Any other comments? Dude, you ain't saying shit. I said you're fucking swinging off the nuts, bro. That's what I said, right? I'm talking to Troublesome A. That's what I said. That I'm biased as fuck. Can you make a point? How about this, Troublesome A? Tell me why Conor McGregor is going to outbox Floyd Mayweather. How's he going to knock him out? Explain it to me. Don't give me his life story. Don't talk about cage rage and don't talk about he's proving the doubters wrong. Just explain to me how he's going to beat Mayweather. Can you do that? Can I please get that? I'm not giving you too long. I'm going to give you a minute. I'm going to give you 1 minute, all right? So you better be typing. In 1 minute, you better post what you got. He's going to kick him in the head. Well, that means he would get disqualified. So that wouldn't make him a winner, right? Anyway. All right. There you go. Okay. Now, for the people saying, "Oh, Connor's gonna catch him with a kick in the head," like, okay, all right, he's gonna throw a kick. All right. Somebody put Christopher Tom, LOL at these UFC fans. Okay, Paulie's eyes got some cuts. Does that look like some accidental elbows or maybe headbutt, or is it a result of some thunderous left hands? Look, man, guys have bruises and all that shit all the time in sparring. Okay, all the time. All right, all the time. Right. To me, it's very telling when Paulie comes out and says he's got a good left hand, but we're working on other stuff. We're working on other stuff, man. Because for Floyd, you got to come with the element of surprise. You got to bring more than just a left hand. You got to bring, like that. That's how he's talking, right? It's obvious to me that he sat down with Connor and told him, bro, you got to bring him more than that left. I'm fucking out of shape. Okay, I got to fucking. Have you seen Paulie with a fucking gut? Paulie used to have a fucking six-pack, dude. He's walking around with a fucking gut, right? Walking around with a gut and like out of shape. And he's going 8 rounds with fucking Conor McGregor, because motherfucker can't go 12, right? Well, maybe it's Paulie. I don't know, because he's so out of shape, right? No, they went 9 rounds, I believe. They went 9 rounds. And according to Paulie, they were both talking shit. And Paulie said he had fun. Like, I'm just saying, man. Like something tells me, and Connor told him, we want you to stay for the rest of camp. Maybe someone told Connor, "Oh, this guy." But Paulie, he's a very good defensive wizard. I mean, Paulie, if you could train with Paulie, I mean, he'll get you ready for Floyd. Right. These UFC fans jumping to conclusions. Christopher Tom put. Troublesome. Nah, Connor's going to get him on the side of his head, then go in and KO him 3rd round. He's going to, quote unquote, get him on the side of the head and then go for the KO. Okay. Yeah, great. Oh, great. Oh, wow. Well, good luck. Right? Good luck. Can you imagine if Conor lands a left hand and Floyd doesn't go anywhere? He's just there. He just shrugs it off. It's going to destroy these guys' dreams, man. I mean, they're going to talk about how the gloves, what's with the glove? Like that, he's going to bitch about the gloves after the fight. Okay. To be honest with you, Conor didn't even know anything about the fucking horsehair gloves. He didn't know anything about that. Oh, the Mayweather cap, they were talking about that I can't wear Mexican-made gloves and, can't wear you can't wear gloves made out of horsehair. I didn't even know they make gloves out of horsehair. Like, dumbass. All right? Fucking dumbass. Anyway. Holy shit. I mean, I understand that you're not the A side, but you had some negotiating powers here. Okay? Manny Pacquiao was able to wear 8-ounce Cleto Reyes, all right? You could have, you may have had to give up a little bit, maybe a 500,000 mil or something, but you could have gotten the gloves of choice. LOL, man, it's like listening to a 3-year-old trying to figure out boxing with these MMA fans. Bro, if Conor throws uppercuts and gets him in the side of the head, he can then get him with a touch of death. Like, wow, great breakdown. Like unbelievable breakdown. This is going to be Conor fans, okay? Mark, this is going to be Conor fans in the middle of the fight. Why didn't you stop, Conor? Connor, just throw, Connor. He's right there in front of you. Just throw, Connor. Connor, throw. He's not throwing. They fucking bought him out. Fucking Mayweather paid him off not to throw. Connor, they're big gloves. Just take the punches, Connor, and get him. Connor, just throw. Bro, why didn't you just throw, man? In the UFC, he just throws. Why isn't he throwing? He's right there. Look, he's right there. Right there. Go, hit him. You know, mark my words, that's going to be them. Okay, get your fucking phones out, right? Get your phones out and record that shit. Send it to my email. I swear to God, I'm going to do fucking... For anybody listening to this, I'm going to be saying this for a while, but maybe I'm not the guy to send it to because I can't edit shit, but we got to figure something out where we could get like compile videos of like frustrated Connor fans yelling at him to just throw. All right, like I want compile videos of that because that's gonna happen. Because idiots watch boxing and they scratch their heads wondering why somebody won't just throw. Maybe because he knows he's gonna get fucking countered. Okay, and it doesn't feel good when you're fucking countered. When you just move a hand and you fucking get punched in the face, you don't know how the fuck that happened. It's a terrifying feeling, right? That's the reason a lot of these motherfuckers don't push Floyd, right? It's not like he's not just pity patting them, you fucking morons. With the exception of like a Marcos Maidana, which I'm sorry to say, Connor is no Marcos Maidana, okay? He's no Marcos Maidana whatsoever. Okay, he wishes he was in the boxing ring, right? But anyway, Canelo just throw. Yeah, like they would tell Canelo to just throw, like if it's like so easy to do it, like, and that's all they had to do. Like, you don't think that, like if all you had to do was just throw, you don't think like they would have done it? Throw, Connor. Fucking shit, Connor. It's right there, Connor. Just throw, Connor. Like I know it's gonna happen. Like it's gonna happen. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. Right? Bro, I don't get it, bro. He fucking always throws, bro. And now he's not fucking throwing shit. He's right there. He's right there. Oh man, it's just funny. Not to mention, you know, Connor's face. He's gonna get busted up, man. It's not even funny, right? Does Connor even know how to roll his shots? I better hope he's working on that, right? If Connor doesn't know how to roll his shots, he's done. Okay. Does Connor know how to parry a jab? Does he know how to do that? Okay. Does Connor know how to pull? Like does he know how, like can he do it like at a high level in those situations? Like not when he's hitting pads and like I'm talking about, you know, like in the middle of a fight. Can he do it? As he's getting more and more tired, round after round, can he do it? You know? You get a big W for that Connor throw. Somebody put, you know, throw Canelo. Somebody put throw Mosley. Just throw. Yeah, like it's when Mosley fought, right? He hurt Floyd, and I remember watching that fight. He did hurt Floyd, right? But then people like never remember what happened right after Floyd recovered. He recovered in the same round, right? And people make it seem like I was watching the fight and people they just didn't get it. You know that. Well, why doesn't he just go hit him again? Hit him like he did earlier. Just do it. Just throw it, Mosley. Mosley, just throw. Just throw it. Like if that's all you had to do, he would have done it. Okay. You don't think a professional boxer would just throw if that's all you had to do? Like if somebody told you all you got to do is just throw against Mayweather, that's it. Whatever you do, just throw and you'll win. Like you don't think you'll just do it? Like if you knew for a fact it would get you the win? But anyway, um, uh, Conor fanbase should be praying Floyd carries him for 12 rounds. Man, this Conor fanbase talking about the big Conor left hand. Nobody talk about the possibility of Conor getting hurt bad, permanently damaged bad. So they put boxing fans just know boxing, MMA fans don't. But the problem is they don't realize they don't. They think because boxing is technically part of MMA that they get it. They don't understand how different it is. It is very, 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 very different, right? Like me, let me tell you something, okay? You'll never catch me trying to break down like a kickboxing fight. Like you'll never see me do it. When have you seen DStyle come on here and break down kickboxing fights? When have you seen it? Now I've watched like live kickboxing fights and they're fun to watch. They're fucking fun. Kickboxing is one of the most exciting combat sports. It's almost amazing that it hasn't really caught on in the United States, right? Especially when I feel like that's what people like the most in MMA. When guys are standing. But anyway, but I'll never like try to break it down because I don't watch it like that. Okay, I don't. I'm not in a position to just say, "Watch, just kick them." Like that's not me. Okay, if I don't understand something, okay, and I feel like I'm not gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about, I'm not gonna talk about it. Right? Like it's just, you're not gonna catch me talking about it. Right? I don't know shit about kickboxing. I just told you I don't. I used to swing off those Conor nuts. Shinshay is the man. LOL. That's what he's saying. That's what I said. Like, you know, I don't know much about Muay Thai, right? I don't know. Let me put it this way. Like, I remember a friend told me this, and I'm gonna end it with this, by the way. A friend told me this, and he's like, he took me to a Muay Thai fight, and they do this. I don't know what. Forgive me, but forgive my ignorance. Ritual or whatever it is, right? Like both fighters do like I guess the best way to put it is a ritual. I don't know. And he's like, "Oh, that guy's gonna win." And I was like what? Like, I didn't get it. Like, I'm like, how could you like know he's gonna win? Like, out of a like, he's doing like a dance and shit. Like, how the fuck you know that? It's like I just know because you could tell his technique. He has far superior technique than the other guy. I thought he was fucking with me. I was like, oh, come on, like that's stupid. But anyway, sure enough, he was right. The guy he said was gonna win destroyed the other dude. Right? Fucked him up. I mean, just it was fun to watch too, but brutal. Muay Thai is probably the most brutal combat sport in the world, actually. Right? But that's another topic for another day. But it's I didn't get it, but he knew what he was looking at, right? Like whatever it was he looked at, right, and it made sense to him, and he was able to gauge off of that or whatever, right? I mean, whatever that means, So so I don't know. It's just an interesting thing, Just like me, I can watch, a boxer train and a boxer shadow box, and I could tell, yeah, that dude he's advanced, right? And I can watch an MMA guy shadow box, and it's funny to me, right? I mean, comparative to a professional boxer. It's the technique level is insane. The difference in levels is insane. But I understand that. Maybe someone who doesn't really watch boxing like that doesn't see the difference in the shadow boxing of a professional boxer and an MMA guy, right? Maybe it looks the same to them, or some shit. Who mad? I'm mad. Who's mad? Right. It's bad when people can tell how smart you are based off of YouTube comments. Right? Um, well, guys, Troublesome is still swinging off those Connor nuts, right? Swinging off those nuts. Look at them, right? By the way, I'm pretty sure, like, even like someone who does like I think like someone who watches a lot of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, can probably, you know, see two guys rolling around, and they I don't know, they could probably gauge, even if they're not that serious, how good one guy is and shit. But anyway, I don't think I have anything else to add, to be honest. Um, I'm gonna get Troublesome right now. Troublesome is swinging off those Connor nuts. He's swinging off those nuts, man. Okay, and he's asking his daddy to, Connor to push him on the swing. You know. Yeah, it is some gay shit. Exactly. That's my fucking point. All right. Anyway, this is DStyleBoxing. Keep it boxing. I'm out.